Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Yield Today with Dallin Candland. This is episode number 43. I am just really thankful for just everything right now. You know, things aren't really going as I hoped they would, but that's okay because they're still going great. And I'm really learning a lot right now, getting a lot of books read, hanging out with a lot of friends, and I don't have a job. I don't have an internship, and that's okay. I got to interview 6 people over the last 6 weeks. Well, a little bit more than that. But you guys have seen those last 6 interviews. Jake Goodsell, Dennis Conforto, Nick Sales, Willie Blake. It's been a ball. I've had a really fun time with it. And I've learned so much from all those people. And it's been really fun to pick their brain, to learn what makes them tick. And also, there's just been some times the podcast when I've kind of like losing motivation a bit. And I've thought a lot about my motivation with the podcast and the long-term perspective with it. Dennis Conforto, he talked with me about that. He wanted to know, like, what is the big long-term perspective of the podcast, right? I've also been told, like, knowing how to market the podcast really easily and knowing exactly what I talk about. And it's kind of been all up in the air, more stuff that I am into. And it's been really cool how people have liked hearing some of the stuff I talk about. But I'm not going to be rebranding the podcast, but I've decided to change the imagery for it just so it gives off a different message. Because right now I feel like it's just like, hey, Dallin is this guy with headphones and you should listen to him talk about stuff. I think that's great, but I can do better. And I have the resources, I have the connections to do way better than that. My brother James, the graphic design major, he's wanting to help me out. So I'm going to pay him, get some help with that. And he's super talented. So I'm excited for that. I feel like this is just my message right now is just sometimes things do not go as planned, but there's always something to be thankful for. On my drive up to Rexburg and on my way here, I ran into people at the airport that I met. Some of them are listening to the podcast now. Shout out to Isaac. Shout out to all those people I met. And who knows, some of them might even be guests on the podcast in the future. It helps me remember that this podcast is bigger than me. I do want to start a movement with it. I want to help people to get more out of every single day of their life so they can get a better idea of how they're doing from the long-term perspective. I feel like I have a pretty good idea of different parts of my life, things I was working on and stuff. And that's because I've learned to track it and everything. And I'm learning these super fun methods to just have more fun with it. Last night I did a visualization exercise and just thought, like, where do I want to be in a day? Where do I want to be in a week? Where do I want to be in a month? Where do I want to be in a year? Where do I want to be in 10 years? Where do I want to be in 100 years? I thought of all this stuff. Of course, in 100 years, I'll probably not be here on this earth, but I still thought about that. You know, I believe there is life after death, and that death is just a step forward. But we don't need to talk more about that for now. Yeah, so it's just really cool. And I've been thinking about different ways to get more out of each week, getting all these crazy ideas. And a lot of times it's when I talk to people, honestly, I talk to people and these thoughts come to mind. My wheels get turning. This is kind of the weirdo sign, but my wheels are getting turning, See the YouTube version right now, you're like, what is he doing? But I've grown as a podcaster. I've learned, I've tried different things. The podcast is almost a year old, which is crazy. So that's the main thing. I'm going to be changing it out more to just getting the most out of each day. Not talking as much about the YIELD acronym because, in all honesty, I don't use it quite as much. I think about it, but do I use it? No, it's kind of a habit now. I see a person, I want to talk to them, I get to talk to them, And it's just super cool. I met this guy today, and I found out he was from this tiny little town that I got to be in on exchanges where missionaries get to go in each other's areas and help each other and stuff, try to see things from a different perspective. He was in one of those tiny towns that I got to visit, which is crazy. There's just so much I'm learning right now. My book has kind of been put on the back burner, but I have a date for August 24th when it will be done. And I'm really trying to push and get that done. I don't have a job. I don't have an internship. I have the best roommates right now that I could possibly have for me right now. I have my good friend Austin. He served his mission in Ecuador, and that's why you see Ecuador stuff in the background today. I'll probably record a couple podcast episodes here in this apartment. We'll see. And we're back. So, holy cow, a lot happened in the last 2 hours. For one thing, I got a job offer. I checked my LinkedIn, and I was at this FHE family home evenings. Some of the local leaders in my church, they invited some of the students over for dinner, and we did that for our little family home evening today. And I checked my LinkedIn, and I found out I had a job offer. I'm so stinking excited. I don't know if it's actually happening yet, but it's a possibility, and I'm so excited for that possibility. But I'm really thankful for everything I've learned over the last couple months. I've been stretched to my limit. I've had to redefine myself a lot of different times, and just the scriptures have really helped. Books have helped. I finished up the Motivational Hacker by Nick Winter, and that was actually a super good book. Definitely would recommend that. Just had a lot of really good stuff I liked. I just got to say, prayer really does work. It's helped me so much. And I know my parents have been praying for me to make the most of this summertime. And it's been really good so far. I've tried to stay busy, and this opportunity came up. I'm super pumped. I'm going to keep praying. The thing is, you just got to trust God, no matter what. And that's really difficult sometimes. But I've really learned to do that more, make that a part of my life. And God's really orchestrated so many different openings and doors and stuff that I couldn't have imagined. As I've tried to trust him, he's blessed me, in every single way. He's blessed me, with this podcast. He's blessed me in business knowledge. He's blessed me in school, all those different things. So definitely got to keep praying. And this is definitely a very interesting time for all of us. So I'm thankful that I have this opportunity, and I'm going to make the most of it. I'm definitely thankful for all those who've been praying for me, and all those people that have gone the extra mile and helped me stay up in these kind of crazy, uncertain times for me, uncertain waters. But I just love the thought of Christ walking on the water, because he can walk on the water, and he can help us walk on the water too in our own lives. He's really done that for me. These opportunities, I feel like I've had to walk on water to some of them. Honestly, I'm being completely honest with you. Some of these have not just fallen into my lap. I've had to really go after them and really nurture relationships and just trust him. And it's a wonderful thing to be closer to him through what I'm doing and to get to know him better. And yeah, I'm just super thankful. I'm very humbled that things are working out. It's really exciting. And I'm just super pumped to keep this going. Something that really has helped me be more grateful in general is just recognizing those blessings as they come and just enjoying the journey. Today, I went on a run, and along the way I talked to some people, and it was just a good time because people are living life, and it's always fun to hear about what they're doing and things they're learning. So I relished in that, and got to talk to a couple people at FHE, and it was kind of like I was doing an interview. I was asking great questions, and so podcasting has really taught me so much. I'm so thankful for what it's taught me so far and the doors it's opening and everything. It's super cool. It's been an investment. I pay money for it, but it's an investment that I'm willing to keep making. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and there will be another interview next week. And then after that, the new-ish version of the podcast, at least with different branding and stuff. And I'll try to get some other stuff to make it sweeter for you guys. Well, that's it. Thank you guys so much for listening, for all of your support. Don't forget to follow the podcast and follow it on Instagram as well at Yield Today with Dallin podcast. And yeah, don't forget to yield today, and it will be better tomorrow. See you next week.